Good evening, everyone. This is Robert. RJL Network presents a special presentation of Inside Pitch. The 1999 demo game is on the air. Today, everybody, this is June 29th. This is the demo game for 1999. We're going to be at Yankee Stadium for a game between the two World Series champions that played that year, the Atlanta Braves and the New York Yankees. Hello, everybody. Another season is about to approach. We have one more week till opening day. That will be on next Monday night between the Colorado Rockies and the San Diego Padres from Qualcomm Stadium, as that is the opening day game. Tonight, we have a demo game. Now, I usually do demo games slow and steady to try to show people how to play the game. We're not going to do it that way, I think, anymore. What I will do is I will play the game kind of slow because because Chris Davis is constantly revamping the rules of Inside Pitch's charts, and I'm still not 100% sure what rules he's going to do. The last demo game I did for 1983, he was utilizing a completely new base running mechanic, which he tossed out as soon as I was done with the demo game. So I don't know what rules he's going to be using for version 4. So I've decided to go ahead and I'm still kind of on the fence of some of the rules that he's using for Inside Pitch. So there are certain rules I'm going to bring back that were for version 3, and some rules I'm going to use in version 4. And I'll detail those rules as we get through them. All right. So this is a game where I'm just going to play a kind of slow game and everything here, a little bit slow, but not as slow as I usually do. Okay, so we're going to roll the game. Another reason why I do a demo game is to get myself back into the rules of Inside Pitch, how to play it again and all that. The 1999 season is going to be straight Inside Pitch. We're not going to use Fall Classic. I did not get a lot of good reviews when I did use Fall Classic for 1983, so we will not use Fall Classic at all. It will be straight Inside Pitch for the 1999 season, which was the season, of course, at which everyone had decided, got the most votes, actually, and wound up being the choice by the dice from the season review and reveal show. So it's another way to go ahead for me to get the game, get started in the game again and get ready for next opening night, opening day, which of course you guys know I play every night when I start a season. This will be the second season of Inside Pitch, starting for 2025. And of course, most regular seasons last about 2.5 months with 10-minute ticker of FastScore. And then we have our postseason and another selection show to see what will be the next season starting in January of 2026. But tonight, it's a demo game, or sort of like that. This is a game where if anybody has any questions, you can ask, and I'll go ahead and be more than happy to answer your questions here. All right? So we got to get back into the set of Inside Pitch, and it's ready to go. Dev09, GLA, Jeremy Brooks, Scooney, 007, DB, Doug Hunt join us first here at Yankee Stadium. These were the two World Series teams in 1999, the Braves and the Yankees. The Yankees, of course, won the World Series in 99. Hence, they have home field advantage for this game at Yankee Stadium here. And we're going to see how things go tonight. I got a very good pitching matchup, one Hall of Famer and one who probably should be. But we'll see how things go. And we'll see. And, and of course, opening night is next Monday night. Clemens baseball fan joins us here now at Yankee Stadium. So it's good to see everybody again. I know a lot of people have been waiting for me to do baseball Inside Pitch. It seems to be my bread and butter. I play hockey. I do other stuff, and none of you guys watch it. So I guess I just got to be straight Inside Pitch with you guys. Fine. Be that way. We're going to be at Yankee Stadium. The designated hitter rule will be used here since they did use the DH in 1999. So I will use a DH rule for this game. So I don't have to worry about pitchers coming out and such. And I guess things are all set and ready to go. And yes, rest in peace, Dave Parker. That is so sad. He finally gets into the Hall of Fame, and the man passes away before the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. That is just so sad that Parker didn't make it. But at least he knew that he was going in the Hall of Fame, and I'm pretty sure his ghost will be able to rest. And I'm sure his ghost will be there. Yes, I know, Scooney. You do get there sometimes, for hockey and such. And we'll see what happens. I'll probably do a little bit more hockey. I want to get another Stratomatic hockey game done with my Florida Panthers. By the way, Panthers Stanley Cup champs once again. How about those Panthers? So, but meanwhile tonight it's inside pitch. Now, of course, the rules are pretty simple. Inside pitch, you roll off the pitcher card first, depending on what the pitcher card says. If not, then you go to the batter card and see. Am I getting 24, 25 strat hockey? No, I don't think I will get 24, 25. I already have 23, 24. I don't think I need to get another season, another season. The season I really want them to do now is 95, 96. I have 95, 96 in strat, but not all the players. They need to remaster that season. Anyway, but we'll see what happens tonight here as we play the Braves and the Yankees. And we'll kind of do it strong. Now, of course, for those of you here, I got my helper card here to help me with that. And there are some people that want to see what my helper that I use. So this is the helper to easily, quickly construct the helper card. So I'll put this here for a few seconds here. So if anybody wants to screenshot this here and make their own, you'll have your helper card set. And I also have a helper card for G2 results, what I use for catchers and such. So I'm going to put this here real quick if anybody wants to screenshot that later. And I'll help you out for a little bit. Okay. And there are a couple of rules that I'll be going back to. First of all, a couple of rules I will be using, going back to A. In version 4, he says that when you go to double play depth, he no longer subtracts 1 from the range. I kind of realized I think you need to subtract 1 from the range. So once again, if I declare double play depth on a range play, -1 will be subtracted from ranges again from there. Another rule he uses is, of course, this one here. So if you look, at some of these here, like the here on the pitcher card, the S1 on his newer sets, he goes ahead and has S1 with a double star. Okay, so on his newer sets, if it's it's either an automatic out. If he's not tired, it's an S1. If it's a single past the pitcher, if he is tired. I think that ruined the uniformity of the game. So from now on, and this gives the pitcher some measure of control. So from now on, I'm still using that rule. If it's an S1 comes up in parentheses and he's not tired, I'm declaring that an automatic out. And I disagreed with him on that, so I'm going to use that automatic out. Another rule he uses is this new infield in chart. For bases full and all that. I tried this. I don't like it. I'm going to utilize my own house rule, which means that if a runner is on third and a 6 is rolled, you have a choice to take the out at first or to take a throw to the plate. But if you throw to the plate, the -2 that you get on infield in, you do not get. And then it's a straight home throw to see if you can get the runner out. I know you still use that as a blank. I will no longer use it as a blank because of his new set. So it's going to be an automatic out from me from now on. And that kind of gives a pitcher just a little bit extra, a little control. I just feel that a pitcher should usually have. So we're going to use that as well. And as other rules come up, we'll get to it. Some of these are house rules. He has not made version 4 official yet. And I've gone back and forth with him on some of those things. So I'm just going to choose my own rules to decide how to play inside pitch. It's really not going to ruin any integrity of the game. Okay, that's how we're just going to do it for this. So, I just feel it just makes sense to do it that way. And of course, remember, Dave at Baseball Demo says, play the game you want the way you choose to play it. Just have fun doing it. That's all. So I think we should get started, shouldn't we? Let's go to the top of the first. We have the Braves and the Yankees. Starting pitcher for the New York Yankees tonight is the Rocket himself, Roger Clemens. Hall of Famer? No. One of the greatest of all time? Yeah. He did not have, it really wasn't the best pitcher on the Yankees in 99. 14 wins, 10 losses. He had a 4.60 ERA. He had 163 strikeouts and 90 walks in 99. So we're all set and ready to go. Let's go to the top of the first as we're about to open up the 1999 replay. The demo game pretty much does open up the 1999 replay with opening day the next Monday night as we get ready to go. Let's get things started. Leading off for the Braves will be left fielder Gerald Williams. 275 average, 17 homers, 68 RBIs in 99. We're going to use blue, white, and white dice. Yankees are the home team for this game. And I'm glad to have people join us here for a little inside pitch, a little exhibition game. As I say, it's a demo game, but I'm going to probably just play it normally. So as you know, you first roll off the pitcher card. It's a 6-3, and I use the dark dice is always the top one. So 6-3 against a righty would be a blank, against the lefty would be a walk plus 10. Williams is a righty, so that's a blank. We roll off a Williams card, and it's a 4-5. A 4-5 is a G6, and that's going to be a ground out to short. That'll be grounded over to some bum named a very young bum named Jeter, and that will be out number 1. Jimmy Jam joins us here at Yankee Stadium. Next batter is the second baseman, Brett Boone. 252 average, 20 homers, 63 RBIs in 99. The rosters I'm using right now, we are using the full pack of players, so everybody is available. This is an exhibition game, and it's an exhibition game, so that's all that matters. And some of the rules are relaxed. So Clemens will roll. And that is a 2-3. And here, as I said, a 2-3, his regular rule with these sets, it would be a blank because he is not tired. But on his newer sets now, there are 2 stars there that would make it an automatic out. I'm calling that an automatic out. So we would roll, in that case, it's going to roll a star line, and that's just going to be a ground out to second. As he grounds one to Chuck Knobloch, he throws to first, and that's out number 2. It'll also keep the scoring down a little bit. XSG2 joins us here at Yankee Stadium. Yes, my Panthers, back-to-back champs. And if you don't pick the Panthers to be playing for the Cup next year as well, if anybody out there doesn't pick the Panthers to have a very good chance to win it 3 in a row, they don't know anything about hockey. Next batter will be the third baseman, Hall of Famer, Chipper Jones, one of the greatest of all time. Yeah. And in my opinion, maybe the second best Brave in the history of the franchise. The only guy above him is some bum named Hank. So Clemens will go ahead and pitch off of his card first. That is a 1-2. And Jones is a switch hitter. So Clemens is a righty. So in this case, against a righty be a blank. Jones is a switch hitter, so he's going to bat from the left side. So that would be a walk plus 10. Then we check Jones's card. Now, Yankee Stadium adds 2 to strikeouts and 2 to walks. Against the righty, Jones would be a 9. You add 10 to 19. Plus 2 is 21. He'll automatically walk Jones. And Jones will trot to first. So we're runner on first for the Braves. And it's only 2 outs, so no one's going to help. Next batter is going to be the right fielder, Brian Jordan. 283 average, 23 homers, 115 RBIs in 99. Jones, by the way, a 319 average. He had 45 bombs and 110 RBIs. Chipper Jones, one of the best players of that year. Now, we roll the strategy roll here, even though with 2 outs. And the strategy roll, of course, as you know, some people have been asking about the strategy roll. And the strategy roll is optional. What this does, the strategy roll generates stolen bases, bunts, hit and runs, and that kind of thing. So with we roll, that's an 18. Now, Jones's attempt would be a 3, plus 1 from Roger Clemens is a 4. The 18 is too high for a steal. Brian Jordan has a bunt rating of 1. And with a bunt rating of 1, he is not going to bunt at all. So normally we'll just roll to see maybe if there's a pickoff or something, because Clemens doesn't have a pickoff rating. So we'll go ahead and there'll be nothing happening. So it's just normal with that. Clemens, a 1-6, and against the righty, it comes up as a walk since Jones is a righty. That's a 4. And against the right-handed pitcher, Jones is an 11, plus 2 is a 13, and he's going to walk Jordan. So Roger Clemens in a little bit of a jam here in the top of the first. He's walked 2 batters now. And the next batter is the first baseman, Ryan Klesko, 297 average, 21 homers, 80 RBIs. I would like to state this is going to be the first 90s season I have done since the 1994 restart. This is the first full replay in the 90s we've done yet. So a lot of these players should be very familiar to a lot of people. Klesko is a very good player and not a great, pretty darn good hitter in 99. Very good stats. So runners at first and second, roll the strat again. That's a 7. Nothing's going to happen there. Jones will stay at second base. Okay. So Clemens will pitch, and that is a 2-4. 2-4 is a strikeout. Okay. Against the righty, Klesko is a 9, plus 2 is an 11. That's a 5, and he got him. That'll be the first strikeout for Roger Clemens, so nothing across except a couple of walks. And we will go to the bottom of the first. Starting pitcher for the Atlanta Braves is this bum by the name of Greg Maddux, Hall of Famer. Yeah, and does anybody here have a problem if I say Greg Maddux was one of the greatest of all time? 19 wins, 9 losses, 3.57 ERA, though. A kind of pedestrian year for Greg Maddux. He had 136 strikeouts and 29 walks in 99. But, yeah, Greg Maddux is definitely one of the greatest of all time. Bottom of the first, let's see who the Yankees bring up. Leading up for the Yankees will be the second baseman, Chuck Knobloch. I sometimes think I think he's to me, Knobloch definitely belongs in the Hall of the Very Good. 292 average, 18 homers, 68 RBIs in 99. So now Maddux will go ahead and roll. That's a 5-3. 5-3 is a 5-3 strikeout against a righty. Knobloch is a 5, plus 2 is a 7, 12 is too high. Knobloch will roll a 4-6, and that's a P6. That's going to be a pop out to short. Easy play for Walt Weiss over there, and that's out number 1. And that will bring up the shortstop, a very young Derek Jeter. Some people say he's the greatest shortstop ever. Debatable, but I have no problem saying he's definitely one of the greatest of all time. 349 average, 24 homers, 102 RBIs. Pretty much new Yankee Stadium is considered the house that Jeter built. But Derek Jeter, a lot of people say greatest shortstop ever. As I said, debatable, but definitely definitely one of the greatest of all time. There's no doubt in my mind there. And he had an excellent year in 99. Greg Maddux will pitch, and that's a 1-5. Now that's an that's a range play at the park. Now we'll go to Yankee Stadium, see what happens. That's a 3-3. A 3-3 is an HRP. This is a home run to the pull side. Now, against the righty, Jeter needs an 11. That's a 4. There's not going to be a range play because, well, unless Brian Jordan can leap about 20 feet in the air, he's not coming getting that. He is not going to get that one. Kaboom! That ball is high. That ball is deep. That ball is gone. Home run, Derek Jeter. Stadium cheers. Yay! Derek Jeter gets a demo game home run as Greg Maddux went ahead. That's off the ballpark card. A 3-3 is an HRP. So a home run to the pull side. Actually, it was the left fielder, Gerald Williams, but it didn't matter. That's still out of here. As he is an 11 and that is a 4, and he definitely hits that one out. And it is 1-0 in favor of the Yanks. That'll bring up the right fielder, Paul O'Neill. I have no problem saying Paul O'Neill was one hell of a player. 285 average, 19 homers, 110 RBIs. Some people think he's Hall of Fame. So Greg Maddux will go ahead and he will pitch to O'Neill, and that is a 2-5. 2-5 is a K, which is a strikeout. Against the righty, O'Neill's a 7, +2 is a 9. The 18 is high. O'Neill is a 1-2, and that's a G3, and that's going to be a ground out to first. Handled there by Klesko. He'll take it himself, 2 down. And now the center fielder, Bernie Williams. Does he belong in the Hall of Fame? 342 average, 25 bombs, 115 RBIs for Bernie Williams. Some people think he belongs in the Hall. You can make an argument for him. You can make an argument for Bernie Williams. It's borderline. Like I said, you can make an argument. Maddux will go ahead and pitch. 6-2. Now, there's nothing there, so that is a blank. We go right to Williams' card. And a 5-1, and that's a G6. That's going to be a grounder to short. Easy play pickup there by Walt Weiss. And the inning is over. 1 run on 1 hit, a solo bomb by the captain. And it's 1-0 Yankees after 1 here in this demo game. Hope everybody here is happy to see me be playing inside pitch once again as we get ready for the 1999 season. Leading off for the Atlanta Braves, center fielder, Andrew Jones. Some people say he belongs in the Hall of Fame. Is it possible to play yourself out of the Hall? Andrew Jones, if he had retired maybe 4, 5, or 6 years before he actually did, I think Andrew Jones would have been a Hall of Fame, would have gotten in, but a lot of people say he belongs in there. I'm on the fence. But he had a good year in 99, though. 275 average, 26 homers, 84 RBIs. I have those are nothing wrong with those stats. So Roger Clemens will go ahead and he will pitch. And that's a 5-1. 5-1 against the righty is a home run, straight up home run result. Against the righty, Jones needs a 13. That's a 20. He's not going to get that. Jones will swing 5-2, and that's just going to be a ground out to third. Handled easily there by Scott Brocious, and he'll throw it over for the out. Coming up next for the Braves will be their designated hitter, Randall Simon. I decided to use him as the DH for the Braves. 317 average, 5 homers, 25 RBIs in 99. So Randall Simon is DHing for the Braves here at the Yankees, at Yankee Stadium. So Clemens is a 2-2, and that is what you call a pitcher result, double question mark, and then you go to here. Against the lefty, a 1-6 would be a single past the pitcher. That's a 17, it's too high, so it becomes a blank. Now we go to Simon's card. And Simon, get lots of sewer dice here. 6-3, and 6-3 is an S1. That's going to be a base hit. So Randall Simon will actually get a hit off of Clemens, and it'll be a hit for him. So Randall Simon goes to first on a hit. And that brings up the shortstop, Walt Weiss. Of course, used to be with the A's. 226 average, 2 homers, 29 RBIs. He gets the call at short. The infield will be at double play depth. As I said, I'm now going back to the rule where now in a range play, double play depth, you now subtract 1 from the range. I didn't like it when you didn't do that. I know Chris said he didn't want to use calculus, but I think when you're at double play depth, you're not fully back, and I think that makes a difference. So I'm going to subtract 1 from every play except for the first baseman, because the first baseman is holding. Well, actually, the first baseman is holding on the runner. So everybody else gets -1 to it. So strategy roll first, see what Simon does, and that is a 12. He's going to stay put. So Clemens, 3-2. That's a strikeout against the righty. Weiss is a 9, +2 is 11. He'll miss. Weiss will swing 5-4, and that's going to be a fly out to center field. And that will be out number 2. Bernie Williams will take care of that. Infield will now go back to being back, and that'll be now we'll see the catcher, Eddie Perez. I've decided to use him as the catcher for this game. 249 average, 7 homers, 30 RBIs in 99. Once again, rolling for Simon. That's a 3, and he'll stay where he is. Simon does have an attempt to 1. You add 1 here, be a 2. And now a hidden. Now I don't do hit and runs with 2 outs. Eddie Perez would have a shot for that, but he's not going to do it. So Clemens will pitch. And 2-5. Clemens, that is a W plus. That's a walk plus 10. And against the righty, Perez is a 4, becomes a 14, plus 2 is a 16. That's a 5. He walks Perez. So Clemens is going to give up his third walk of the ball game. And now the top of the order for Williams. Williams is 0 for 1. So Simon on at second, Perez on at first. Strategy roll still. Nothing on the 18. Clemens will pick. Clemens is a 4-1. Home run question mark. This is a home run chance you go to this. Okay? Home run question mark. Williams is a righty. Against a righty, a 1-7 would be a possible home run. That's a 4. That's good. Now against a righty, now you go to here. Against a righty, Gerald Williams needs a 10. A 10 or lower, he puts the Braves ahead. And he will. Kaboom! That ball is high. That ball is deep. That ball is gone. Home run, Gerald Williams. The Braves take the lead. Stadium groans. 3-run bomb by Gerald Williams will put the Braves ahead 3-1. Now, Gerald Williams did have 17 home runs that year, and he'll put that one ahead. And it's 3-1 Braves here in the top of the second. Remember, this is 1999. This is considered part of the steroid era. We may see a lot of home runs in this 1999 season. So 2 outs still, and the next batter will be Boone. Clemens will go ahead. We'll see he'll pitch. Clemens pitches a 4-5. 4-5. E question mark. This is an error question mark. We'll go possible error. We'll go to Boone. Boone a 2-2, and that's a star 5, double star 5. That's a possible, and it's a grounder to short. It's a possible error on the shortstop. Derek Jeter's error rating is a 6. That's an 18. He's not going to make an error. Jeter will go ahead and get that, throw it over to first, and retire the side. 3 runs on 2 hits and a walk. And the Braves now have a 3-1 lead here, going in the bottom of the second. Leading off for the Yankees is their first baseman, Tino Martinez. I think he's hauled a very good 263 average, 28 homers, 105 RBIs. Tino Martinez, solid. Maddux will go ahead and pitch. See what we got here. 3-4. That's an S1. It's a straight base hit right up the middle. And Martinez gets a single to start the inning off. So Tino Martinez gets a hit. And next is the New York designated hitter, Chili Davis. Heck of a player. 269 average, 19 homers, 78 RBIs in 99. So Davis is the DH for the Yankees in this game. Martinez only had 3 stolen bases. So let's see what happens here. Strategy roll, that is a 2. And a 1 + 1 is a 2. He does get the jump. Let's see. 9 + 1 is 10. Perez is a 0. It would be a 1 to 10 for Martinez to try to steal. I don't think they would steal. Remember the strategy roll is optional. I'm going to call off the steal because I don't think you would steal with that in this situation. And I'm going to let Davis swing. So Maddux will pitch. 3-3. That is a blank. We'll go to the batter card. 4-2. And that's a base hit to left field. Now we're going to get to see how this works. Now, a single to left. Okay, you go ahead and check over here. Now, you have Tino Martinez. A single to left is a 1 to 3. It's a base hit to left field. We go straight S7. And a 1 to 3 I got is a -4. Martinez is a 2. There's no way he gets the third. But let's do this the long way. So, because a lot of people have issues with the base running mechanics when they first do this. This helper card really makes things fast. Okay, let's do this a long way. So it's a single to left field. On a single to left field, you use this chart, and you see in a single to left, 1 to 3 is a -3. And then we'll go ahead and take a look at the arm rating for the left fielder for the Yankees, for the Braves, and that is Gerald Williams. Jared Williams has a -1. So that would be a -4 to left field. Tino Martinez only has a base running rating of 2. No chance for him to get to third. He automatically stops at second. That is the long way of doing that. This helper chart, all you got to do is just look here, single to left, the runner at first and third, take this number, add or subtract it to the base running rating, and then roll a die. If it's a chance of a 1 or slow, 1, you would roll the die to see if he gets there. But since it's less than 0, he has no chance of getting there. You don't have to roll, and the play ends. So now runners at first and second, and still no one out here. As the Yankees now look like they're trying to get something. Here's the catcher, Jorge Posada. Always felt Jorge Posada was a solid catcher. 245 average, 12 homers, 57 RBIs in 99. Let's roll a strat, see if anything with Greg Maddux. Maddux does have a pickoff rating, but an 8, nothing happening there. So Maddux will pitch. 1-2, strikeout against the righty. Posada's a 14, plus 2 is a 16. That's a 12. Got him. And that's going to be the first strikeout for Mad Dog Maddux. That's out number 1. Here's the third baseman of the Yankees, Scott Brosius. 247 average, 17 homers, 71 RBIs in 99. So we'll re-roll the strat again. That is a 10. Again, nothing happening there. Yep, base running. Once you get it, you wonder what took so long. Maddux will make a pitch. 5-3. 5-3 is a K, a possible strikeout. Against the righty, Brosius is a 9, plus 2 is an 11. 16 is too high. Brosius will swing. 5-3, and that is a double star 4. And that is going to be a ground ball to third. Now, with runners at first and second, you got to find out where the ball was hit to, okay, on a grounder to third. So you got to go to the chart. And you can see here, runners at first and second. So you got to roll a D6 to see where it goes. And that is a 1. Now, my rule is now, I really don't follow these exact. A 1 would be towards the line. A 2, 3, or 4 would be right at the third baseman. A 5 or a 6 would be in the hole. We did roll a 1, so it's still towards the line. So a double play or force, it would go 5-3. So we're not going to get the pivot rating of the batter. So it's hit right down the line. So here's where we check. They were in double play depth. So it's 2 -1 by the pitcher. So it's a 1. Okay. If you add 1 at double play depth for the third baseman, so it becomes a 2. Now he's going 5-3. He's going 5-3. So a 1 or a 2, it is a 5-3 double play. It is a 1, and they got it. So it's hit right at the third baseman, picked up by Chipper, throws to first to get the out, and that is going to be a 5-3 double play and end the inning. So no runs, 2 hits for the Yankees as they waste an opportunity to try to get some runs. It's 3-1 Braves after 2. As I said, this is a game to ask questions and that kind of stuff. In this demo game, people can ask questions. Because when I start playing regular season games, I go right through it. We don't have, because remember, also my work schedule changed. I no longer work 8 to 5. I've now been working 9 to 6. Most of my games usually started at 7:30. It looks like now my games will be starting at 8. I'm now going to move my games now to 8 o'clock, I think. So I think all games will now start at 8 to give me an extra half an hour to prepare, since now I get home an hour later. So now my games will start at 8 o'clock now instead of 7:30. Top of the third, the Rockets back on the mound. And here's Chipper. Chipper walked his first time up. And that is a 2-4 and a 2-4 strikeout against the righty, a 9, plus 2 is 11. That's a 4. Got him. And the Rocket will get a strikeout. That is his second. So he gets Chipper Jones. That'll bring up Jordan. Jordan walked his first time up. And that's a 4-4. 4-4 against the righty. It's a home run result. Against the righty, Jordan needs an 11. That's a 4. And that one is going bye-bye. Kaboom! High, deep, and gone. Home run, Brian Jordan. Stadium groans. Brian Jordan did have 23 bombs in 1999, and it is now 4-1 Braves here in this demo game. Roger Clemens with that 4.6 ERA had a very rough, did not have that great a year in 99, even though the Yankees did win the World Series that year. Next batter will be Klesko. Klesko struck out his first time up. Clemens a 1-3. Now that's an RP. That's a range play. Now we go to Klesko. 1-2. That's an F9. It's a fly ball to right field. The right fielder for the Yankees is Paul O'Neill. His range is a 3. So a 1-3. I'm still going to use the D20 though for doubles and singles. So a 1-3. He makes the play. He won't. Now I'm going to use the D20. I do like the D20 rule. So a 1-4, it's a double. 5 and higher, it's a single. It's a single. So Klesko will get a base hit. And that is a hit for Klesko, and he'll hold it first, as O'Neill couldn't get to it. Next batter will be Jones. He's 0 for 1. There is 1 out here. So 1 out here in the top of the third. Braves have a 4-1 lead. Strategy roll for Klesko. He had 5 steals. That's an 8. He's not going anywhere and no hit and run. So Clemens will go ahead and he will pitch. Clemens a 3-4 strikeout. 16 is going to be too high because Jones is an 8 plus 2 is a 10. Andrew Jones will swing 4-1. That's a ground ball to third. Now we go check to see the double play. So 2-2 at double play depth. It's going to be a 3. Second base pivot. That's Chuck Knobloch. Chuck Knobloch has a pivot arm of -1. So a 1 or a 2, they get the double play. They won't. That's a 6. So the only play they had was the first. So Klesko makes it to second automatically. And the only play that Brochus had was getting into first base, and that will be out number 2. And Klesko moves over. So grounded to third. And now the batter is Simon. Simon got a single his first time up, and now there are 2 outs in the top of the third. So strategy for Klesko, that's a 9. He'll stay put. Clemens will go ahead and pitch. Clemens a 4-2, and that is a strikeout and a walk in parentheses. If he's tired, that's a walk chance. He's not tired, it's a strikeout chance. Against the righty, Simon a 6 plus 2 is an 8. That is an 8. Cold strike 3. Got him, and the inning is over. Third strikeout for Clemens. 1 run on 2 hits. A solo blast by Brian Jordan. And we go to the bottom of the third. Took me a day to learn the base running. It took me actually a little while. It took me actually a little longer for me to learn the base running, to really get the base running. Even I was getting frustrated with it. That's why I started coming up with these helper cards to help me get it, where I can just play the game a lot quick, stream it a lot faster. We go to the bottom of the third. Leading off for the Yankees is their left fielder, Ricky Leday. 276 average, 9 homers, 40 RBIs. He played in half the season for the Yanks in 99. Nothing wrong with those stats. So let's see what happens here. So Clemens takes over. So Clemens will pitch. And that's a 1-3. And that's an ET question mark. Error on a throw. Okay, now we check Ricky Leday. And that's a 6-1. 6-1 is a question mark 8. This is a power hit. It's a power check hit to center field. That's a 5. And you check this section here. And a 5 is going to be a 5 to 11. That's going to be a double for Ricky Leday. Now, one of the rules, okay, is that if there was nobody on base, there's not going to be a throwing error. In version 4, there can be a throwing error if there's nobody on base, because maybe the outfielder tries to think that maybe the runner's going to try to get an extra base and he throws it maybe a little while. So I will still check to see if there's a throwing error. So it's question mark 8. It goes to center field. Williams' error rating is a 2. That's a 4. He won't make a throwing error. He'll get it in normally. And center field actually is Jones. I'm sorry. My bad. I made a mistake. Braves are in there. Braves is Andrew Jones. His error rating is a 4. That is a 4. That's going to be a throwing error. And that's going to be an extra base for Ricky Leday. That's going to be a throwing error. And let's see. And I think I just give him one extra base on a throwing error, I think, on that. So let me check and see here. Let's check here. Error throw, D. Runner on first to third, scores on throwing error. Batter takes third on error. Yeah. So he only gets one extra base, as Leday will go to third. So that's actually going to be an error. So it's going to be a double and an E8. And allows to be the first error on the Braves, as a bad throw by Andrew Jones allows Ricky Leday to take third base. So there is an error on that. My bad. And now the batter is Knobloch with a runner at third. 4-1 lead. I really don't think the Yankees would actually play the infield in, but we'll say they will just for the sake of argument. So they're going to play the infield in anyway. So Knobloch is up. He's 0 for 1. Strategy roll. That's a 17. I'm working on something for pickoffs with runners on third. That doesn't really happen a lot. I'm really working on a rule for that because that is very rare when that does happen. And we've had a lot of pickoffs runner at third. Usually some people say the pitcher threw to the catcher and the catcher threw to third base on a pickoff. What I may do is if a pickoff comes up with on a third, pickoff at third base, and I'm going to roll the catcher's error rating to see if he throws the ball away. I may do that. Anyway, Maddux, a 2-2. That's a double question mark against the righty. A 1-4 is a base hit up the middle. That's a 20. It's too high. Becomes a blank. Go to Knobloch's card. 4-5. And against the righty, against the lefty, be a ground out to short. But against the righty, it's a base hit past short. And Knobloch will get the runner in. So Leday scores on an RBI single by Knobloch. It is now 4-2. So Knobloch gets an RBI single. And now the batter is the captain. Jeter hit a bomb his first time up. So 4-2 Braves here in the bottom of the third inning here already. Lots of looks like we could be in for a high-scoring game. Knobloch had 28 steals. And he's not going anywhere in the 13th. So Maddux will pitch. And that's a 3-2. And against the righty, it's a blank. So let's see what Jeter does. A 2-1. And that's going to be a double star 6, an automatic out. And that's going to be a ground ball to short. Let's see if he turns a double play. 1-0. And pivot rating, of course, adds a 1. Second base pivot is Boone, a -1. So it's a 0. No chance of a double play. The question is who's out. That is a 1. Chuck Knobloch's base running rating is a 3. Becomes a 2 when it's hit someone else, when it's hit not to first. So that throw is going to go to first base. Knobloch has good speed. He'll make it to second. And that's out number 1. So Knobloch advances, ground out to short. And Knobloch goes to second base. Next batter is O'Neill. O'Neill is 0 for 1. Now the infield will be back again. So Knobloch on at second. 4-2 Braves here in this demo game. Strategy, nothing happening on the 12. Maddux will go ahead and pitch. Maddux is a 5-5 strikeout against the righty. O'Neill 7 + 2 is a 9. That's a 6. Got it. And that's going to be the second strikeout for Mad Dog. That's out number 2. And now here's Bernie. Bernie is 0 for 1. So Knobloch on at second. Roll a strategy again. That's a 14. Nothing happening. Maddux will go ahead and pitch. Maddux 3-6. Against the righty, it's a blank. But Williams is a switch hitter. And against the lefty, it's a straight home run result. Against the righty, Williams needs a 13. That's a 2. And this game is tied. Kaboom! That ball is high. That ball is deep. And that ball is gone. Home run, Bernie Williams. Stadium cheers. Yay! Two-run bomb by Bernie Williams, and this game is tied at 4. Williams hitting from the left side. He'll go ahead and get that one. And we're tied at 4 here. I can already sense how the season's gonna go in 1999. They still got one more out though. Here comes Martinez. Martinez got a single his first time up. Maddux will pitch. 1-3. Error on a throw. Martinez. 1-6. That's a P5. That's gonna be a pop out to third. There won't be a error there. They'll make the catch and retire the side. 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 error. A 2-run bomb by Bernie Williams are tied at 4 after 3. Time for a quick station break. This is the RJL YouTube Network. Be right back. We go to the top of the 4th inning. We're already tied at 4 here. Clemens back on the mound. As far as fatigue rules, I may not really use the fatigue rules, but we'll see what happens. Walt Weiss leads off for the Braves, and he's 0 for 1. As I use this marker to tell me which side to read for the results. So, pitch from Clemens, and that's a 2-6, and that is straight at the park. We go right to Yankee Stadium, and 4-6 is a G2. Now, his rule is you must, anytime a G2 or a P2 comes up and it's at the park, not a range play, you roll on the catcher to see if he makes an error. I have been on the fence about that rule. So if I was to do that, right now it's a 14. The catcher is Posada. Posada has an error rating of 5. That's a 14. He would not make an error. So that would not be an error, and he would make the play and throw to first. My issue is that if you have a catcher with an error rating of 20, anytime a P2 or a G2 comes up, that catcher is going to make an error. So I may be doing a rule where I'll be checking the D20 first. If it's an even number, I'm gonna say no error. If it's an odd number, I will roll to see if he makes an error. I just don't see many errors coming. So if I was to use his rule, now that is an even number, so I wouldn't be rolling for an error. He would still make the play anyway. So a nice play there by Posada. He picks up and throws to first. I really don't like it, the idea where if it's a G2 or a P2 and a catcher has an error rating of 20, he's automatically going to make an error. I just have issues with that. So I may be doing if it's an even number, it's going to be not a green error. If it's an odd number, I will check to see if it is an error. Here's Perez. Perez is 0 for 1. As I said, I'm still playing with some of the rules that he's doing here. I'm going to have a lot of house rules for the game. So Clemens 2-5. And that's a W plus to walk plus 10. Perez is a 4 plus 2 is a 6, makes 6. 16, that's a 2. It's a walk. So Perez will trot the first. And that is the 4th walk given up by Roger Clemens. Now the batter is Williams. Williams hit a bomb his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Infield is a double play depth. Strategy roll for Perez. He's not going anywhere. He had no stolen bases anyway. He does have an H. He does have an H here, which tells me he failed to hit. Probably they did him on a hit and run, and it didn't work. Clemens is a 2-1. That's a K. Strikeout against the righty. Williams is an 8. Plus 2 is a 10. This makes 10. 13 is too high. Gerald Williams 2-1. G4. That's going to be a possible double play. Grounder to second. Williams 2. Nothing from Roger Clemens. Double play depth plus 1 is a 3. Shortstop pivot for the Yankees. Jeter's a -1. So a 1 or a 2, it would be a double play. It's a 6. That's going to be a tough play for Knobloch. Nothing he could do. He took the play. He took the sure out at first, and that's out number 2. As Eddie Perez will make it the second. 2 down now for Boone. Boone is 0 for 2. Perez on at second. 2 outs now. Still rolling a strategy. Nothing on the 17. Boone with a temp rating of 3. He still doesn't got a bunt chance. So Perez will hold at second. Clemens the pitch. Clemens a 3-6. And of course, Clemens has got strikeouts of the entire 3 column. So strikeout against the righty, Boone a 9. Plus 2 is 11. That's a 6. Got him. And the inning is done. And that's going to be the 4th strikeout for Clemens. So nothing across except a walk. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Glad you guys joined up here for the demo game tonight. Bottom of the 4th inning. Chili Davis leads off for the end for the evil Galactic Empire. He got a single his first time up. She's in her room. Maddux will pitch, and that's a 5-4. 5-4, strikeout against the righty, Davis 13. Plus 2 is a 15. That's a 6, and that's an easy out. Got him. And that's the 3rd strikeout for Maddux. Next batter is Posada. He's 0 for 1. Maddux will go ahead and pitch. Maddux 2-1, strikeout against the righty. Posada's a 14. Plus 2 is a 16. That's a 4. Got him. And that's the 4th strikeout for Maddux. And now the batter is Brocious. Brocious is 0 for 1. Maddux will pitch. 2-5. 2-5. K, strikeout against the righty. Brocious a 9. Plus 2 is an 11. That's a 9. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Greg Maddux strikes out the side. And it stays tied at 4 after 4. As you can see, inside pitch just flows so well. It really, really does, you know. And I kind of, in a way, I do kind of regret a little bit going to Fall Classic for the finish off 1983. But I'm not going to, it's just the way I felt at that time. But we're not going to do that again. And of course, when we do the selection show, we will not include seasons that inside pitch does not have. Although I've been asking Chris if he can create some. We go to the top of the 5th, still tied at 4. As far as Ghost Runner rules go, in a regular season game, Ghost Runners will not. I will not activate Ghost because I'm on school nights. So Ghost Runners will not activate until the 11th inning. But in this game, if it happens to reach the 10th, I'm going to go with automatic Ghost Runner. So here's Chipper Jones. I know everybody hates the rule. I do too, but that's the way we're going to do it. So Clemens is going to go against Jones here, top of the 5th. And 2-1, strikeout against the righty. Jones a 9, plus 2 is 11. That's a 9. He struck out Chipper. And that's the 5th strikeout for the Rocket. And now Jordan. Jordan got a bomb his last time up. So Roger Clemens, they'll pitch to Jordan here. These are roster. I've not done any roster moves or anything like that. You know, players will be on their teams that they're supposed to be later. Although David Baseball Demos went on a very bad rant when he saw with colors of players that not on their teams, and like that. I've learned to live with it. Clemens a 1-6 against a righty, a walk. Against the lefty, it's a base hit past the pitcher. Jordan is a walk chance. So against the righty, Jordan's an 11 plus 2 is a 13. That's a 5. That's going to be a walk. Malbert's 20 joins us here at Yankee Stadium. Now the batter is Klesko. Infield a double play depth. Jordan had 13 steals. Let's see if he gets 1, 3, and yes, we're going to send him. We're going to try him out. Jordan, 3 plus 1 is a 4. That's a 3. Go try to steal. Jordan is a 12. Nothing from Clemens is 0. Posada has a 0 arm. A 1 to 12, Brian Jordan is safe. And he is. Brian Jordan will steal second base, and that'll be his first steal of the ball game. So Brian Jordan steals second base. And Klesko's still at the plate. And that takes away the double play chance. And we roll a 20. Now this time, Clemens has a pickoff chance. A 1 to 3. He turns around, fires to second, and no, Jordan will get back. Now Clemens will concentrate on Klesko. Clemens, a 3-5 strikeout chance against a righty. Klesko a 9 plus 2 is 11. That's a 12. He doesn't get him. Klesko a 2-3, and that's a G3. That's going to be a grounder to first base. Brian Jordan will automatically make it to third. That'll get taken care of there by Martinez. He'll make the play himself. Out number 2. Brian Jordan automatically goes to third. And now 2 outs now for Andrew Jones. Andrew Jones is 0 for 2. Infield is back. Strategy roll for Brian Jordan. That's a 4. He's going to stay put. Brian Jordan stays at third. Roger Clemens will pitch from the Rocket, 6-3. Against the righty, it would be a blank. Against the lefty, it's a walk plus 10. Jordan's is a righty, so it becomes a blank. Andrew Jones, a 1-1. That's an L4. That's a line out right to second, and that is going to end the inning. So nothing across except a walk and a stolen base. And we'll go to the bottom of the 5th. This demo game could probably last about an hour and a half. If I've had games I've had inside pitch games go so smooth, they lasted less than an hour. And then I've had games that last 2 and exhausting. That's another reason why I institute the Ghost Runner rule, because on school nights, I've got to get rest. But we go to the bottom of the 5th now, still tied at 4 here between the Braves and the Yankees. And it will be Ricky Leday leading off for the Yanks. Looking forward to the 1990s, to a game from the 90s. Always did like the 90s decade. Maddux will pitch a 5-4, and that's a strikeout against the righty. Leday is 16, plus 2 is an 18, and that 11 will get him. And that is the 4th consecutive strikeout by Maddux. 1 out. Here's Nobby. Nobby is 1 for 2 with a base hit. Maddux will swing, will pitch 5-1. Hit by pitch. Knobloch is a 21. He must have gotten hit by a lot. Maddux, however, is a -3. That would make it an 18. That's a 12. He hit him anyway. So Knobloch must have gotten hit by pitch a lot. So that'll be a hit batter. And that is the first hit batter of the game. I'm not going to use the 3 hit batter rule. And if we happen to come up with that brawl in the rare plays, I'm not going to use it. So Knobloch will be at first base now after that. And here comes the captain. Jeter is 1 for 2. He has a bomb. Infield double play. Knobloch, 28 steals. And he's going to get one. He's going to try to get one here. 3 plus 1 is 4. That's a 2. We're going to send him. 15 plus 1 is 16. Eddie Perez's arm rating is a 0. So a 1 to 16, Knobloch steals second. And he does. So Knobloch will steal second base. That's his first steal of the game. Now we'll roll to see if he gets a chance to steal third if he wants. That's a 20, though. Maddux gets a chance to pick him off. A 1 or a 2, he gets him. No. Knobloch will get back, and now Maddux will concentrate on Jeter. Of course, the double play is now off. Maddux a 6-5. That is a blank. Will go right to Jeter's card. Jeter a 5-4. And against the lefty, it'd be a ground ball past third. But against the righty, it's going to be a base hit past third. That's a single past third. Chuck Knobloch is on at second base, so we'll check the chart. And on a single past third, to score from second to home, you need a 4 or higher. He's a 3. If he had 2 outs, he would be a 4 or higher. He would score. Knobloch will hold at third base. So Jeter does get a hit, though. It's his second hit of the game. And now the batter is O'Neill. Braves will call the infield in. Tying run is at third. And let's see what happens. Now, Jeter had 19 steals. Let's see what the strategy roll says. That's a 15. Nothing's happening. So Maddux will pitch to O'Neill. Maddux a 4-5. That is a blank. Blank will go to O'Neill's card. And 5-6. 5-6 is a question mark 8. This is a power hit to center field. Against the righty, a 1 would be a double. A 2 to 4 would be a triple. That's a 17. That's going to be a fly out. That's also a possible sacrifice fly. So it's a fly out to center field. So there are 2 outs. You now check the sacrifice fly rating. There's 2 ways to check for sacrifice fly. Paul O'Neill is a sacrifice fly rating of 4. The new rules for sacrifice flies is if it's hit the left, you add 1. If it's hit the center, you add 2. If it's hit the right, you add 1. He added this for version 4 because he felt there usually were not enough sacrifice flies. I actually agree with that. So that 4 becomes a 6. It's going to be an automatic sacrifice fly. Knobloch will come in to score, and the Yankees take a 5-4 lead. Jeter does stay at first. So it's going to be a sacrifice fly for Paul O'Neill, and it's now 5-4 in favor of the Yankees. And now with 2 outs, here comes Bernie Williams, and he got a 2-run bomb his last time up. So Jeter is on at first. Now 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Strategy roll again. That's a 4. Derek Jeter has a 2. Plus 1 is a 3. He does not get the steal sign. If there were less than 2 outs, a hit and run is possible, but I don't do hit and runs with less than 2 outs. So that's not going to call. Maddux will pitch. Maddux a 5-1 hit by pitch. Against the righty, Bernie Williams is a 1. A -3 makes it impossible, so there's not going to be a hit batter. Williams will swing 6-4, and that's going to be a fly F7. It's going to be a fly out the left, and Gerald Williams will get that and retire the side. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 steal, and 1 hit batter. 5-4 Yankees after 5. We now go to the top of the 6th. I'm going to leave Clemens in there, let him pitch probably. I'm probably going to let Clemens and Maddux both pitch the 6th inning. And the 7th, I'll probably bring in a reliever. So let's see. Top of the 6th inning. And it is Randall Simon leading off for the Braves. He is 1 for 2 with a single. He's the DH, since we're at Yankee Stadium for this. Clemens will pitch 6-3. Against the righty, it'd be a blank. Against the lefty, it's a walk plus 10. Simon is a lefty. So it'd be a 5 plus 2 is 7 plus 10 is 17. And that just got it. That just walked him. And that's going to be a walk by Clemens. And the Rocket didn't like that call at the plate. So now here's Weiss. Weiss is 0 for 2. Simon had 2 steals, infield double play. Strategy roll 15, nothing happening. Simon stays where he is. Clemens will go ahead and make a pitch. 6-4, hit by pitch. Against Weiss is a 7, plus 1 is an 8. That's a 3. Plunk, ouch. And now he hits Weiss. So now Clemens hits Weiss, and now runners at first and second. And as I said, I'm not using the hit by pitch rule. This is an exhibition game. So they can hit 20 batters. I'm not going to throw pitchers out. And now the batter is Perez. Perez has walked twice. But runners still at first. Now runners at first and second for Atlanta. And they've got a chance here. So we'll see what happens. Strategy roll. And that's a 20. Clemens, a 1-3 pickoff, is going to turn around, try to get Simon. A 1-3, he got him. No. Now Clemens will pitch to Perez. 6-1 against a righty, strikeout. Against a righty, 6 + 2 is 8. That's a 15, too high. Perez will swing. 3-5, and that is a G6. It's a ground ball to short. Let's see if they turn the 2. Double play rating 2. Nothing from Clemens. Double play rating +1 is a 3. Second base pivot for the Yankees, Knobloch. He's a -1. So a 1 or a 2, they turn the double play. That's a 6. So that means the only play they had was the first. So Simon goes to third. Weiss goes to second. Perez is out. And there's one down. A 6 means he's automatically out at first. All runners advance. Now the batter is Williams. And they're going to call infield in with runners at second and third. Strategy roll, you still roll. Strategy rolls usually if the difference in the score minus the inning is 10 or 11 or is 11 or higher, you no longer use a strategy roll. David Baseball Demo still likes to use a strategy roll no matter what, and I have no problem with that. As I said, that is a 20 though. Clemens does turn around to try to get Weiss. No. And so now we will go ahead and pitch to Williams. Clemens, 5-6. And against a righty, it's a blank. Now we'll roll Williams. Williams, a 5-5. And that is a G6. Now the infield is in. Now on the infield in, the base running rating of the runner on third is reduced by 2. His base running rating becomes a 0. There is no way for him to score. He is automatically held, and the throw will go to first for out number 2. So Gerald Williams cannot bring in the run. And now it'll be up to Boone. Boone is 0 for 3. And now there are 2 outs. So Clemens trying to get out of a jam here in the top of the 6th inning. Strategy roll again. Nothing happening on the 15. Clemens will pitch. 5-1. And against the righty, it's a home run result. Against the righty, Boone needs a 10. That's an 11. He just missed it. Boone will get the swing. A 4-1, but that's a power hit to center field. And against a righty, a 1-9 is a single, 10-13 is a double, a triple is a 14. Holy cow, that's an 18, and he's not going to get the clutch. That is going to be a straight fly ball to center field. Going back for it is Bernie Williams. He's near the track. He's going to have the room, and he makes the catch. Side retired. Nothing across except a walk and a hit batter. So Brett Boone misses a home run by 1, and he misses a triple by 4. That's why inside pitch can be a little bit, can be frustrating sometimes if you're rooting for a certain team. We go to the bottom of the 6th, still 5-4. As Clemens gets out of the jam. So the Braves had runners at second and third, and they got nothing. They lose. Good day, sir. Tino Martinez will lead off for the Yanks. He's 1 for 2 with a single in the game. Maddux will go ahead and he will pitch. So Maddux, a 6-6 is an EG question mark. This is an error on a grounder. We'll check Martinez's call. 4-3. And a 4-3 is a D7. That's going to be a double to left field. You can still have an error on a grounder because it's a double to left. Checking the left fielder for the Braves, it's Gerald Williams. His error rating is a 4. That's a 16. He will not make an error. He'll field it cleanly and throw it in. So a double for Tino Martinez. He'll hold it second, and that will bring up Chili Davis. Davis is 1 for 2 with a single. Martinez on its second. Strategy rules are still active. At the 20, Maddux turns around, fires to get Martinez, and he got him. That is a 2, and a 1-2 is a pickoff, and he got him. Pickoff for Greg Maddux, and Tino Martinez will take the long walk back to the dugout with his head in shame. So now 1 out, and Chili Davis will bat with nobody on base. So Maddux will pitch, and that's a 1-6. That's an at sign. That's at the park. We go to Yankee Stadium. 2-1. That's an F9. It's going to be a fly ball to right field. Easily handled there by Jordan. And that's the second out. Now the batter is Posada. Posada's 0 for 2. Maddux will make the pitch. And that's a 1-2. Strikeout. And against the righty, Posada's a 14. Plus 2 is a 16. That's a 4. He got him. And the inning is over. That is the 7th strikeout for Greg Maddux. And Jorge Posada does have the hat trick. And after 6, it is 5-4 in favor of the Yankees. We're going to go to the top of the 7th, and I'm going to make a pitching change as Roger Clemens is going to come out of the game, even though he's not tired. But I'm just going to make a pitching change here, and we'll bring in a new pitcher. So let's see who the Yankees want to bring out. And coming on to pitch for the Yankees, let's see. They got Jones, Jordan, Klesko. They got what they got here. Jones. Switch right, left. And they're going to bring on a righty. And coming on to pitch for the Yankees is going to be Jason Grimsley. 7 wins, 2 losses, a save, a 3.60 ERA. Jason Grimsley. He can pitch to 6 batters before he tires. So Grimsley is going to come on to pitch. And Clemens right now leaves with the W chance. So here's Chipper Jones. In the 1990s, pitchers really were still being used kind of like the 80s, but they didn't go as deep as they used to. It really was in the 90s, the mid to late 1990s is when they stopped using long relief pitchers that can go 7 or 8 or 9 batters. This is where they now brought them to like 6 or 7, and that's pretty much it in the 90s. Not like today where you got a pitcher that pitches to 1 batter and he's automatically tired. So top of the 7th, 5-4 Yankees. Chipper will lead off, and he'll go up against Grimsley. Grimsley at 2-1. Against the righty, he'd be a blank. And Chipper, though, is a switch hitter, so he's from the left side against the righty. So against the lefty, that's going to be an automatic out. And that's going to be a star 5 and a ground out to short. So out number 1 is Grimsley will get Jones. Next batter is Jordan. Jordan is 1 for 1, a home run, 2 walks, and a stolen base. Grimsley, a 5-4. Against a righty, it's a walk. Jordan, a 6, plus 2 is an 8. The 11 is too high. Jordan will swing 1-4. It's an L5. It's going to be a line out to third. And that is out number 2. And now Klesko. Klesko is 1 for 3, has a single. Grimsley will pitch. 3-1. Walk plus 10 against a righty. Klesko is a 12, plus 2 is a 14. 24, that's an automatic walk. That'll be a 24 plus 10. And Klesko draws a walk. Grimsley had 35 walks in 99. And now Andrew Jones. And Andrew Jones is 0 for 3. Klesko had 5 steals. He's not getting one here. So Grimsley will pitch. Grimsley 6-2. ET question mark, error on a throw. Jones, a 4-1. That's going to be a ground ball to third. Ground ball to third. Third baseman for the Yankees is Brocious. His error rating is an 8. That's a 16. He's not going to make an error. He's going to throw to second to get Klesko, and that will end the inning. Nothing across except a walk Nothing across except a walk, and the Yankees still holding on to a 5-4 lead. And we are at the seventh inning stretch. Sing, take me out to the ball game. I'll be right back. Our next broadcast of Inside Pitch will be opening day. It will be Monday, July 7th at 8 o'clock. Opening day is here for the 1999 season. It will be the Colorado Rockies versus the San Diego Padres. Darryl Kyle will be pitching for the Rockies, and Andy Ashby will be going for the Padres. That will be at Qualcomm Stadium, as the Rockies and the Padres will begin the 1999 season here. That is opening day, Rockies and Padres. And that will be next Monday, July 7th, as the 1999 Inside Pitch season is now 1 week away. Bottom of the seventh here, Yankees lead the Braves 5-4. And we'll see a new pitcher for Atlanta as well. So let's see who they're going to bring on to pitch here. Yankees have Brocious, Leday, right, left, and right. They'll bring on a righty as well. And let's see who they're going to go with. And they're going to go with... Braves are going to go with Kevin McGlinchey. Another great baseball name. Kevin McGlinchey. 7 wins, 3 losses, no saves, a 2.82 ERA. McGlinchey will come on to pitch for the ATL as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Scott Brocious will lead off. He is 0 for 2 as the Yankees lead this demo game 5-4. Peter Tort joins us here at Yankee Stadium. Pitch from McGlinchey is a 1-3. That's a K. It's a strikeout against a righty. Brocious a 9. Plus 2 is 11. Got to 10. Got him. Called strike 3. As McGlinchey will go ahead and get a strikeout. 1 down. Next batter will be Leday. Leday is 1 for 2 with a double. McGlinchey will pitch. 5-3. And that is an S1 question in parentheses. As I said, in the old rules, in his older sets, this would normally be a blank. But in his newer sets now, he has 2 stars. Okay, to say it's an automatic out. My rule is, since he wanted to change uniformity, I will also change uniformity. He is not tired. That's going to be an automatic out, and that's going to be a ground out to short. He says it gives the pitcher an extra out when he shouldn't have. Well, that's just the rule I'm going to do. So 2 outs, and now here's Nobby. Knobloch is 1 for 2. Single, got hit by a pitch, stole a base, and scored twice. Clark Garotz joins us here at Yankee Stadium. Baseball with the Demos joins us here at Yankee Stadium. Yes, you know it's baseball night, but congrats on the Stanley Cup. Go Cats, go! And I'm telling everybody again, if you don't think the Florida Panthers do not have a good chance to get another cup next year, you don't know anything about hockey. They are definitely the favorites to do it again. Because right now I don't see anybody beating them. So right now we're kind of like in a hockey golden age down here in South Florida. We got to enjoy times like this down here in South Florida with the Panthers. We don't know how much longer this is going to last. And how Bill Zito doesn't get GM of the year, I have no idea. You won't see any. We gave you Marchand. We fleeced you for Marchand. We fleeced you for Marchand. So I'll tell you that for sure. Internet malfunction on another channel. I get a few of those here too, Dave. Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing though, Peter. When we got Brad Marchand, a lot of people weren't so sure about it. I told everybody I loved getting Brad Marchand, but even I didn't know how he was going to produce in the Stanley Cup. I'll say this: Sam Bennett was the Sam Bennett. I think everyone will agree with me. Sam Bennett definitely deserved the Conn Smythe, but Brad Marchand was the Stanley Cup Series MVP. I don't care anyone he says. He is the MVP of he was the MVP of the series. Yes, they're going to go to 84 games starting next year. Not this year, but next year, yes. Yeah, Brad Marchand was definitely the series MVP. I had no problem. You could have given the Conn Smythe. You could have given it to Marchand. You could have given it to Bennett. You could have given it to Bobrovsky. You could have given it to anybody. You could have given it to Barkov. You could have given it to Kachuk. But, yeah, you give it to the guy that scored the most goals. I have no problem with Benny getting it. Absolutely, he deserved it. So McGlinchey will pitch 6-3, and that is a blank. We'll go to Knobloch's card. 1-4, and that's an S6. That's going to be a base hit past short. So Knobloch keeps the inning going. That's his second hit of the game. It'll now bring up the captain. And Jeter is 2 for 3 with a bomb and a single. Knobloch on it first. We'll roll the strat. That's a 13. Knobloch is a 3, plus 2 is a 5. That's too high. And McGlinchey will pitch. 5-1. Against the righty, it's an S1. It's a straight base hit up the middle. Now, Chuck Knobloch with 2 outs, his base running rating is a 3, becomes a 4. S1, first to third, it's a 4+. So he would automatically get the third. And Jeter gets the first. And now the Yankees have a chance to get some insurance. And now the batter is O'Neill. O'Neill is 0 for 3. Knobloch on it third, Jeter on it first. Strategy roll still. That's a 12, nothing happening. McGlinchey will pitch. This is McGlinchey's 5th batter. He would normally be fatigued after him. I'm not using fatigue rules. McGlinchey, 5-4. K is a strikeout against the righty O'Neill 7. Plus 2 is a 9. That's a 7. That's a called strike 3 on O'Neill, and the inning is over. So no runs, 2 hits for the Yankees, but they still have a 5-4 lead here after 7. The one thing about hockey, to really go with you guys on hockey a little bit, as far as the Edmonton Oilers go, Connor McDavid. Every time he touched the puck, I held my breath. But Connor McDavid is going to win a cup. I have no doubt in my mind the man is going to win a cup. Is it going to be with Edmonton? I have a very funny feeling that Connor McDavid's going to leave Edmonton. He's going to go to his hometown, which is Toronto, the Maple Leafs. He's going to go to the Maple Leafs, and he's going to win a cup there and end the Maple Leafs curse. That would be the story of the century for the National Hockey League if he does that there. Why do I have a funny feeling he's going to win a cup? He's going to leave Edmonton, go to Toronto, and win a cup with them and end the Leafs curse. Why do I have a funny feeling he's going to do it there? Weird. I don't know. Jason Grimm, we're going to bring a new pitcher for the Yankees again. And let's see what we'll bring in here. And coming on to pitch for the Yankees, let's see. Let's go with not much choices here except for him. Let's see who's up. Simon, Weiss, and Perez. Left, switch, left. They're going to go ahead and bring out Alan Watson. 6-3, 1 save, a 3.51 ERA. So Alan Watson's going to come on to pitch. So Alan Watson will pitch for the Yankees. He'll pitch the 8th, saving, of course, relief pitcher Obvious for the 9th. And Randall Simon is due to lead off, but we'll see if we bring in a pinch hitter for him. I think we'll bring in a pinch hitter, I think. And Simon's a DH, so we're going to bring him out. And coming on to pinch hit is going to be Brian R. Hunter. So Brian R. Hunter will pinch hit for the Braves against Alan Watson here to start the top of the 8th. Yeah, the camp compliant playoff rule is going to have a bigger impact. I totally agree. They kind of closed the loophole a little bit with the Kachuk and all that stuff, but you know what? Loopholes are loopholes. It doesn't matter. The Panthers won the cup. And the thing about the Oilers, really, if it wasn't for 2 blown leads, if it wasn't the Panthers blowing a 3-1 lead in game 1 and a 3-0 lead in game 4, Panthers sweep them right out. They sweep the Oilers right out. They dominated the Oilers in that series. They dominated them. And that's why McDavid this year was not as devastated as he was last year. Last year, he was absolutely hurt. You're down 3-0. You fought back, make it 3-3, and you got 1 goal short of winning the cup in 2024. This year, he knew that the Panthers were just a better team. The Panthers were just a better team. He said, no, we just got beat by a better. They just kicked our butts. They were just a better team this time. We had no prayer against them. Oilers should have been there. It should have been Dallas. I hate to say this. Dallas, I don't know about that. I really don't know about Dallas. And I tell you the truth, I didn't want to play the Oilers a second year in a row. Clark Aratz, I didn't want to play a second year in a row anyway. I really didn't want to play the Oilers again because I thought their hunger might have just gotten it this time. I was not afraid of Dallas. There's nobody on Dallas that scared me. I hate to say this. I think the Panthers would have taken care of them too. Panthers right now are just a well-oiled machine. They have the deepest lines. It doesn't matter what line is on the ice for the Panthers. Every one of those lines is capable of scoring and playing defense. When you have out of your 18 skaters, 16 have a goal, that just tells you that that's just nothing but depth. I don't think Dallas would have been much of a match. If there was the teams I really were afraid of, even though Oilers were a team I was afraid of, the other team I was afraid of was, believe it or not, the Avalanche. I was kind of disappointed the Avalanche did not get out of the round with Dallas. And I was not afraid of Winnipeg. I was not afraid of anybody else from the West. And I was really not. And I'll tell you the truth, the only team I was afraid of in the East was Tampa Bay. The Lightning was the only team I was concerned about in the East. I was really not afraid of the Maple Leafs, even though we were down 2-0. Okay. And I definitely wasn't worried about Carolina. Top of the 8th. And Brian R. Hunter is going to take over here for the DH. He'll DH now. So Watson will pitch. And 1-1. And that's an ET question mark, error on a throw. Brian R. Hunter. A 5-6. And a 5-6 against the righty being F9. But against the lefty, it's going to be a double into right field. Wow. You just don't see it. Doesn't matter. Even though I've been gone for so long, you just don't see managing like this on that other channel with the fluffy cat. So that's going to be a double to right field. Now, an error on a throw. The right fielder for the Yankees is O'Neill. His error rating is a 5. He's not going to make an error. It's a 9. So Hunter will stay at second base, but that's going to be a leadoff double. Just don't see managing like this on that other channel. You just don't. Here's Weiss. Weiss got hit by a pitch his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Hunter on at first. Strategy rolls are still active. Nothing on the 17. Actually, no. Now, Weiss actually has a bunt rating of 5. That 17 actually does allow a bunt chance. You check the chart here. 16 to 19, a bunt rating of 5. It does allow a bunt chance. And Weiss, you know what? He's going to bunt. He's going to try to move Brian Hunter over. So we're going to utilize the bunt chart on the other side. So he's going to try to bunt. So Watson, a 4-6 strikeout. Now strikeouts are reduced in half when you try to bunt. So against a righty, Weiss is a 9 plus 2 is 11. Divide that by 2. You're going to round that down to 10. Divide that by 2, and that's going to be a 5. That's a 19. So it's not going to be a bunt. So now we're going to roll to see. It's not going to be a strikeout. Let's see if Weiss makes the bunt. That's a 3. And that is bunted right to the pitcher. And that is pitcher is going to be a minus, considered in. So that 5 becomes a 4. That's a 17. And lead runner thrown out, hitter safe at first. Wow. His bunt rating becomes a 4 because it's hit to the pitcher. And Weiss doesn't, and the lead runner is thrown out. So the bunt doesn't work. I think the manager from the other channel might have hacked me here and called that bunt. I don't know what in the world that was. So Hunter is out, and that becomes a fielder's choice, and there's 1 out. I would have said corners are in anyway. That'll bring up Perez. Perez is 0 for 1, but he's walked twice. Let's see what Weiss wants to do. That is a strategy roll. That's a 6. His attempt rating is a 2. Nothing happening. And Perez is a 6. Does he get a hit and run chance? No. So Watson will pitch. Watson 2-4. Against the righty, it's a blank. Against the lefty, it's been automatic out. Perez 2-2. That's a double star 3. And that becomes a G6. So that's a ground ball to short, possible double play. 2 at double play depth is a 3. At 1, short. Second base Knobloch is a -1 arm. So a 1-2, they'll turn it. It's a 3. No, they won't turn it. But Walt Weiss's base running rating becomes a 4. And if it's hit to anywhere else, it becomes a 3. That 3 is still better. It's equal to the base running rating. Walt Weiss will still make second. The throw went to first for out number 2 because Weiss got a good jump. So a grounder to short, picked up by Jeter. The only play he had was the first. Is now 2 outs. And now here's Gerald Williams. So Weiss on at second, 2 men down now in the top of the 8th. Strategy is a 6, and nothing happening there. So Watson will pitch. A 6-6. That's a double question mark, or I call it a pitcher result. Against a righty, a 1-17 is an automatic out. That's a 2. It's going to be an automatic out, and that's going to be a 5. It's going to be a fly out to center. Alan Watson gets out of the jam, and the inning is over. No runs and a hit for the Braves. I thought we were going to have a high-scoring game, but it looks like we're going to have an average game here. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Bernie Williams is going to lead off for the Yankees. They got switch, left, switch. And we're going to see a new pitcher for the Braves, as the Braves will bring on a new pitcher as well. And they're going to bring on their lefty, Mike Remlinger. 10 wins, a loss, 1 save, a 2.37 ERA. So here is Mike Remlinger. He'll go ahead and he'll pitch this inning. He can pitch to 5 batters, but we're not using fatigue anyway, but still. So here's Mike Remlinger, and he does have the Special K feature. So Bernie Williams, so Remlinger will pitch. That's a 2-4 against the switch right. That would be a blank because Williams is a switch hitter, but Remlinger is a lefty, so Williams is hitting from the right side. That would be a blank. Williams, a 3-3. That's an F9. That's going to be a fly out to right. One out. Here comes Tino Martinez. He is 2 for 3, a single and a double. Remlinger, a 3-6 against a lefty. It's a blank. Martinez is a lefty, so he would be a blank. Martinez, a 2-6. That's a power hit to center field. And a single against the lefty, a single 1-6. double 7-13, triple 14-16. That's a 20. It's an out. How about that? Flies out to center. He had a 80% chance of getting a hit, and he flies out instead, 2 down. Sometimes the D20s are very evil. Here's Chili Davis. Chili Davis is 1 for 3. He's got a single. He'll bat. So Remlinger will pitch. 6-3. 6-3 is a range play. Now we go to Davis's card. Davis, 6-3. That's a D7. That's a double to left field, but it's a range play for Gerald Williams. Williams's range is a 4. So a 1-4, he'll make the play. He does. That's a 1. He makes it easily. He turns that double into an out, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Remlinger. And after 8, it is 5-4 in favor of the Yanks. But will we see some 9th inning magic in the demo game? Well, the Yankees got to go to the bullpen, and of course, there's only one pitcher you got to bring in, okay, in this situation. And it's that guy. Coming on to pitch for the Yankees, the greatest closer of all time. Kind of hard to argue that. Mariano Rivera, 4 wins, 3 losses, 45 saves, a 1.83 ERA. The only player to get in the Hall of Fame with a 100% ballot, which I think is bull. Which I think is bullshit, because there are so many others that should have gotten that as well. I have no problem with Mariano Rivera getting 100%. There's no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. He deserved 100% of the ballot. No doubt. But he's the only one that got it. Not Ken Griffey Jr. Not Ken Griffey Jr., not Tom Seaver, not Babe Ruth, not Willie Mays. I just don't get it. Remlinger's coming to play and come for the hit. No, it does not. No, it does not. Special Ks are, to make it easy for you, Clockerots, Special K only comes into play when it's off the ballpark card or the batter card, and it is not a range play, not an error check, and not an error check, okay? And also, now, if it's a star line, okay, according to Chris, you can make the call on a star line because that's the pitcher. But if it's not a range play or an error check, anything off, any non-hit off the batter card or the ballpark card, if it falls into this, it's a strikeout. Just make it easy for you. Just make it easy for you. If it's off the batter or ballpark card, if it's not a range play or an error, okay, it's a strike. It falls into that key. It's a strikeout. We'll see what happens here. Let's go to the top of the ninth. Brett Boone will lead off for the Braves. And let's see if the Braves want to make any batter changes. And why not? Let's see. Do we want to? Yeah, why not? Brett Boone's going to come out of the game. And coming on to bat for the Braves and take over second base is going to be Keith Lockhart. 261 average, a homer, 21 RBIs. So Keith Lockhart will go up against Rivera. 3-4. And Rivera is a home run chance. Against the lefty, it's a 1-4. That's a 3. Now against the righty, Lockhart needs a 2. The only way Lockhart ties this up is on a 2. No, it's a 17. So he does not get the home run. Bad pitch by Rivera. Now, you wouldn't check the Special K for that. But now, let's see what comes off the Lockhart's card. That's a 1-5. 1-5 is an S8. That is a base hit. That's a single. So Lockhart actually gets a leadoff base hit for the Braves. So Lockhart will take over at second base for Boone. And that'll bring up Chipper, and you're not pinch hitting for him. And Chipper will bat. Chipper is 0 for 3 with a walk. Infield, a double play depth. Lockhart, strategy rolls are still on. That's a 9, nothing happening. Rivera will pitch. 4-6 against the switch left, because Jernzo's a switch hitter and Rivera's a righty, becomes a lefty. Against the switch left, that's going to be an automatic out. And that's a 3, and that's going to be a grounder to second base. Let's see if they turn it. 2, nothing from the pitcher, which is a 2. Double play depth is you add 1, it's a 3. Shortstop for the Yankees is Jeter. He's a -1. So a 1-2, it's a double play. No. Lockhart, his base running rating becomes a 2 because he's being held, and it was not hit to first. So they're going to get the fielder's choice, and Chipper will make it to first, and that is out number 1. Now the batter is Jordan, and we'll see if they'll do a pinch hitter for him here. And let's see. Do we want a pinch hit for him? No, we'll let Jordan bat. Jordan at 576 at bats, he would hit anyway. So Jordan will go ahead and he'll go up against Rivera. Strategy rolls are still on. That's a 10. Nothing happening there. Rivera will pitch. Rivera, 2-6 against the righty. It's a blank. Jordan is a 3-5. A 3-5 is a G3. Now, Clockerots, I want to show you. This is a G3. This would be a grounder to first. He has special K 1-5 either side. The die is a 13. If this was a 5, that would be a strikeout. Instead, however, it's a G3. So it's a grounder to first. It's a possible double play. So a grounder to first. Jordan is a 1. Nothing from a 0. Okay, but when it's hit to first, you don't get the +1. Okay, because he's being holding runner on. All right. Pivot rating for the shortstop is Jeter. He's a -1, so it's a 0. So no chance of a double play. That is a 4. Jones's base running rating stays as a 5 because it was hit to first. He will make second. Jordan is out, 2 down. So now the last chance for the Atlanta Braves will be Ryan Klesko. Klesko is 1 for 3, has a single and a walk. 2 outs. Mariano Rivera trying to get the save for the Yankees here in this demo game at Yankee Stadium. Braves fans hoping to see what they can do. Tying run at second base. Rivera will pitch to Klesko. Strategy roll. Nothing on the 9. Jones stays at second. Rivera will go ahead and set it up, and he will pitch. 1-1. Error, ET question mark. Error on a throw. Now, in this case, the special K won't come in because you have to see, all right, because an error check will automatically takes out any special K chance. Error on a throw. Klesko, 2-4. And against a righty, that's an S4. That's a single pass second. That's a single pass second on an error on a throw. Now, with the rule on an error on a throw, and I'll show it to you here. Error on a throw is a number 7, and throw, ball caught, roll on, error on a throw on an S on an S is a 6. So throwing error with potential advancement basement on bad throw. So that's a single pass second. That's a single pass second. Now, you check to see if there's a throwing error. Second baseman for the Yankees is Knobloch. His error rating is a 10. That is a 10. This game is tied. Ryan Klesko gets an RBI single that will score Jones. It's an error on a throw, so you don't roll for a range. It's an automatic. It's automatic. And Klesko winds up at second. We got a tie game. Stadium barfs. Blech. RBI single by Klesko on an S6, on an error on a throw. And because it was an extra base, and because it was a throwing error, it allowed the run to score. If it wasn't a throwing error, it would only would have been one base. So with 2 outs, Mariano Rivera blows the save. And now the batter is Andrew Jones. And here I thought this game was going to end. So Klesko on its second. Rivera will now have to pitch. I'm not using fatigue rules, even though he is tired right now. But I'm not going to use fatigue rules for this. We're just going to let him pitch here normally. So strategy roll. That's a 14. Nothing happening. Rivera will pitch. 6-6. And that is a range play at the park. We go to Yankee Stadium. 2-4. That's a G4. That's going to be a range play to second base. Second base is Chuck Knobloch. His range is a 2. He can't get it. That's going to be a base hit past second. And that is going to score. And I believe that scores Klesko. And it does. Base hit for Andrew Jones. Knobloch couldn't do it. And the Braves have a 6-5 lead. Stadium barfs. Yeah. RBI single by Andrew Jones. And Mariano Rivera blows the save, but mostly because of a big error on a throw, which I did not put in there. So there was an error, and that was on Knobloch. That was an E4. So that was the first error on the Yankees. And now the batter is Hunter. And that's going to be it for Rivera. Even though I'm not doing fatigue results, he is now done. So new pitcher coming in for the Yankees. And they're going to go with Ramiro Mendoza. 9 wins, 9 losses, 3 saves, a 4.29 ERA. So Clemens does not get the win. And Mendoza now comes up. So Andrew Jones on at first. Still 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. But now 6-5 Braves. So strategy roll for Jones. That's a 14. He's not going to go anywhere. Mendoza will pitch. Mendoza 3-3. That's a K, a strikeout against the righty Hunter, a 7. Plus 2 is a 9. That is a 7. It's a cold strike 3. And the inning is over. 2 runs on 3 hits. 1 huge error. And we go to the 9th inning magic strikes again. But will we have some bottom of the 9th inning magic? New pitcher coming on for Atlanta. And they're going to bring out their closer. And everybody knows who this guy is. Coming on to pitch for the Braves, John Rocker. Boy, this guy was a jerk. 4 wins, 5 losses, 38 saves, a 2.49 ERA. John Rocker. I'm pretty sure you guys know about him. Couldn't stand him. But a heck of a pitcher, though. Leading off for the Yankees is going to be Jorge Posada. He'll bat. Posada's 0 for 3. 6-5 Braves. Mariano Rivera could not close it. Rocker will pitch. Rocker, 6-6. Strikeout plus 10. That 3 will easily get him. Got him. And Jorge Posada gets the golden sombrero. He struck out all 4 times. Next up is Brocious. Brocious will bat. He's 0 for 3. Rocker will pitch. Rocker, 5-3. And that's a wild pitch. That's a blank. That's going to be a blank. The rule, I do like that rule, though. If it's a wild pitch, you don't re-roll it. Even when if there were base runners, you don't re-roll it. It becomes a blank. That's a blank. You go to Brocious' card. Brocious 4-1, and that's an F9. That's going to be a fly out to right, and that's out number 2. Last chance for the Yankees is Ricky Leday. He'll bat, and he's 1 for 3 with a double. So John Rocker trying to close the game here for the Braves. Rocker, 3-2. Strikeout against the lefty. 16 plus 2 is 18. Holy cow, that's a 19. He didn't get him. Leday does get the swing. Leday, 3-4. And that is going to be a fly ball to right field. Getting over there is Brian Jordan. He takes a couple of steps to his left, puts out his glove, blop, and the ball falls into it. That's your game. The Atlanta Braves win the demo game on some ninth inning magic off of Mariano Rivera, and they win tonight's game 6-5. We've only had one season replay where the actual historical teams made the World Series in a replay, and that was the 1981 replay when the Dodgers faced off against the Yankees. We got the Braves and the Yankees. Will these teams make it to the replay in this World Series? I don't know. We'll see what FastScore and everything has to say on that. But that is your demo game for 1999. This officially opens the 1999 replay, and opening day will be next Monday. And that will be here. Don't forget, next Monday, it will be opening day at Qualcomm Stadium as the Colorado Rockies take on the San Diego Padres. Darryl Kyle will be going for the Rockies, and Andy Ashby will be going for the Padres. We're only 8 days away from the 1999 season. Opening day is 8 days away. Hope you guys won't miss it. You better be there for it. Opening day, Rockies and Padres. Be there or be square. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Please leave a like on your way out to the turnstiles. Subscribe if you're not done so, and make sure you hit the bell. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart, stay strong, and we'll see you guys. I think that game was played in Mexico. May have been. If they unfortunately, I don't know that we're going to put it in Qualcomm. You may be right, though, about that. Okay, you could be right. We'll see you guys next Monday night for opening day. Braves beat the Yankees today 6-5 in a demo game. We are 8 days away from the 1999 season. We'll see you guys then. Have a good night. Take care.